can use our vocal variety better in our speeches. And I've tried to evaluate everybody who has come up on stage. I'll not specifically say too much good about the Merakis who have come on stage. I'll try to give those suggestion points. Now, quickly, few things which I noticed is all over the period of time we have understood where to use pauses, and we have understood very well that words we need to stress on. Like when we are talking, for example, if we are saying strong in the sentence, we are stressing on the word strong. That is equal for everybody, so there is no bad on that. What I felt was, so starting with Ganeshan sir, the energy could have been little higher. Volume, the moment the volume goes up, the energy feels higher across the room. What Vijay uses a technique. Vijay's volume is itself higher, you feel more energetic as the speech itself. Vijay, the good morning, everything was as energetic as it could have been. Coming to Karthik, what I felt is you were very monotonous at the very beginning. The first part of the story was very monotonous. I will come back to how it can be improved at the later point. Satish, there were too many usage of R's. In the sentence, you were in between one sentence, you were pausing too many times, and every time you were pausing, there was a that was coming up. Then Ganeshan sir, again, I felt Ganeshan sir's, there were few places where I thought that stresses could have been used, and few places the pace, if it would have been increased or decreased, it would have animated the speech more. Just one example, for example, you are saying that we don't only think about what food we are eating today, we are hungry for tomorrow's food, yes, 10 years later's food and all this. So same thing you can use say it slow. We are not only worried about the food we are hungry for today. We are also hungry for tomorrow's food for 10 years, food for retirement. Say that in a little faster pace, it makes more effect to the audience. Okay. Puthadan, same thing. I felt there were a lot of pauses which were very effectively used, which was very good in the speeches, but at few places you were pausing in between the sentences. For example, it is the ability, like that, you are pausing in between the sentence, which is again not needed. Okay. Coming to the TT speakers, Muki, again, it's not a clear but you are pausing between the sentence and you are stretching the last part of the word. I think Sasta had mentioned it in one of the grammarian report when you were at the TMOD. You are extending the last part of the words, so be a little more conscious about that for in between the sentence when you are pausing. Gopi, I felt you have a fast pace where the pauses are working very effectively, so that was a good thing. Coming to Daud, I didn't find any major flaws in it. It was good and you characterized also in a very good way. Bala, I felt you need a little more pauses in your speech because your pace itself is a little fast, where if you give more pauses, it will become animated automatically. Asma also the same thing. It's a very fast, you speak fast but you have a very clear voice. So if you can incorporate pauses, it will become very clear. Especially for Satish and Ramalingam, two things which I noticed is, when you were talking in your table topics, you did not have any R's because you were talking naturally. You were talking your stories. But the moment you were thinking too much about what you are speaking, even for Satish in the book review and for Ramalingam in the evaluation, when you are thinking too much about the content, you are having more R's and ums in between your sentences. Okay. Having said this, with something which I want to stress on is the pace of your speaking. Okay. The moment you increase and decrease your pace, you animate your speech automatically. Most of us are doing it, but most of us are doing it on sections. For example, if you see Karthik, the initial part was very slow. It was monotonous. The second part was a little faster again, but that was fast all through again. Right? So what I am suggesting is use that difference of paces in your sentences itself. Like one sentence you say slow, the second sentence you say faster, it automatically animates. Puthadan's humorous speech, he used that word that not because he can fire you, but because he cannot hire another person. Same, if you say the first sentence slowly, not because he can fire you, but because he cannot hire anyone else. That slow and fast gives a huge difference between how audience perceives it. So use the pace more effectively, and I think it will be animated.
Lovely.
So over to you.
Thank you so much, vocal coach.
Coach.
Okay, now we'll start with the round robin evaluation. On evaluation for evaluation number 3, DTM Vijay Lakshmi. To start with, we'll start with timer.